Hey guys, so it has been a year since we made a video like this here in Minnesota.
That's right.
We've been riding these 3 electric unicycles all week. We've got the King Song KS14D, the Inmotion V8/Solowheel 3, and the new Inmotion V10F. We've had a really good time testing and just kind of really putting these wheels through their paces this week. We've probably ridden about 100 miles each between the 3 of these wheels.
Yeah.
Minneapolis is a great place to do that. So let's get into, we wanted to compare these 3 and just kind of give our thoughts. And this is, you know, there are other wheels out there, but these are what we have. We've got a lot of thoughts and opinions.
We have a lot of thoughts, and I want to kind of start with just the history that we have with them. So Chris lives back in the Detroit area, I'm in the Minneapolis area here, and I probably have about 1,000 miles on electric unicycles in and around the Twin Cities area, which is a significant amount of time. So it really has given me the opportunity to really understand how they work, their limitations, range, speed, maneuverability, how you carry them, how you use them in everyday life. And we want to introduce all aspects of that into our review today so that you really get a good understanding of what you're getting into and ultimately your ability to choose what's really going to be right for you at this time. Without further, let's start with the King Song.
Yeah, let's go from small to big. So I've done some reviews on the channel for this wheel in the past, but the best way, let's just start off with like a base comparison.
Yeah.
So the best way to compare these wheels, this is your Miata. This is your lightweight sports car, maybe a turbocharged Miata. This is your lightweight sports car. It's agile, it's really quick off the line, it has great braking performance. It's a little bit small, it's a 14-inch wheel. This is your sports sedan, this is your M3. It kind of does everything. It's the right size, it's the right weight. These both have top speeds of around 18, 19 miles an hour and similar performance.
That's right.
The V10F, that's your Lexus SUV.
This is the SUV.
Yeah.
It's big, it's heavy, it goes a long ways. If you want to ride for a long ways in comfort, this is the one. But you don't really want to take this one downtown and parallel park it, if you understand what I'm saying. I would prefer to take the V8 or the King Song for more of that urban environment. If I'm commuting and I want to do so in comfort, the V10F with its range, top speed, that big fat wheel that Inmotion put on it, it is really a great commuter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, middle ground.
So
where are we going?
First, let's start with the King Song.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Back to the King Song.
Because you haven't ridden this before.
That's right.
What are your thoughts?
I love it.
It's super fun.
It is crazy fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And you know, so let's talk price point on it for a second because I want to go there.
$770.
$770 for this. It'll take you 15 to 20 miles. Top speeds just under 19 miles an hour. And it is an absolute riot. The value in this unicycle is, it is better than right.
It's pretty darn
It
good.
is really good.
Yeah.
For what you're getting, you are getting a hell of a unicycle. Long way, super sporty, super fun, easy to trick, easy to get around, easy to pick up.
The pedals are fantastic.
Pedals are wonderful on it.
Super stable. You can't go wrong with the KS14D. You really can't.
That's right.
The only thing is if you're doing longer journeys, longer rides, it's a little stiff with the 14-inch wheel.
Yeah.
And after 50% battery, your speed starts to drop progressively. So then that puts you into, let's say you want more battery range, that puts you into the KS14S, which is V8 territory, V8 price.
Well, right. So taking this to the bigger battery variant actually puts its price above the V8.
That's right.
Now, if I'm choosing range and price, I'm going to go with the V8 all day over the larger battery version of the King Song.
Yes. But it depends on your needs and how you're going to be using it. If you're only going to be riding it 7 miles for your work commute or this or that or less, this is a great wheel.
Great wheel.
The only thing we don't like about it is that it doesn't have a cutoff button for when you're lifting up staircases, but it takes a second to turn it off.
Show them the handle too.
And lift up. And it's nice and lightweight and portable. I think it looks good too. I like the white. Here's the handle.
The handle's awesome.
Really solid.
Super solid.
Works great. This thing kind of goes both ways, but it does, if you set tilt into the wheel, you'll have a preferred direction of travel. It's just really nice, very comfortable to ride. Preston complained a little bit about the pads hitting his shins.
Yeah, it was hitting my shins low, and I think it's just because I'm much used to the higher position on the V8.
I've never had that problem with this.
Right.
It's been pretty comfortable for me.
And I think even though it bothered me here this first day, I don't think anyone that's going to buy this wheel is going to put these kind of miles on it in the first day like we did.
Yeah.
So I think my complaint is very minor because I would get used to it over time.
Right there. But
you can see where it
this
hits,
is a
yeah.
wheel with such solid pedals that you can basically ride it without, you can kind of straddle.
Right, you take a wider stance and it doesn't rub or hit your calves.
So,
shins.
depending on your needs, KS14D is awesome.
We really like that unicycle a lot.
Let's talk about the V8, because this is kind of, we were wondering, is the V8 still relevant? Or the Solowheel 3? It's the same thing in different markets, depending on when you buy one, where you buy one. It's either the Solowheel 3 or the Inmotion V8.
Are you asking?
No, I'm
You're telling.
I'm saying, yeah.
You're telling.
I'm saying that, yeah.
Okay.
So, right now we've got the protective cover on it.
Because we crash a lot.
Yeah, we crash. This thing has, these are all really tough wheels.
Very durable wheels.
They've tumbled, they've gone down bike paths, rolling down the hills.
This one, I hit a pothole at top speed and the thing went cartwheeling down the concrete. Sounded terrible, but surprisingly little damage.
Yeah.
And got right back on and rode no problem.
Some damage.
I sustained more damage than this did. Yes. So we're leaving the fancy cover on, and the Inmotion V8, this one, Solowheel Glide 3, is also shipping with this cover now.
Yeah.
Which I think is really, really great, especially if you're learning and you want to crash it a bunch without scuffing up the cover.
This could be your only wheel. This could be a great first wheel. I mean, you have to get all of them, but this could be your only wheel.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
If I had to choose one,
yes.
if I had the budget for one and only one, the V8.
Yep.
The Solowheel Glide 3.
It's most consistently our go-to wheel.
It's our go-to. The size is right, the weight is right, the performance is right, the range is right. You'll never, I won't say never, but nearly outrunning the battery on this in a day is a lot of riding.
It is. It's more than you want to.
It's more than you want to ride.
Yeah. And it charges quickly.
And it charges quickly.
So this is the Volkswagen GTI, the M3. It's all things to all electric unicycle riders. Like,
yes.
It has a great balance, nice braking performance. It's fun to ride. This has the fewest compromises of any wheel that we've ridden.
What are your complaints with the V8?
Pedals could be better, but they're not terrible. The handle's a little bit funky, but I don't mind it. I actually kind of like the handle.
I like the luggage handle.
I don't really have a lot of complaints, honestly. Like, it's solid. It's a really, really good wheel. And at first, like when I got the KS14D, I was just in love with like the maneuverability of it. And the V8 is just a little bit less maneuverable. But
just because of the wheel size.
Just because of the wheel size.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
It's so good.
And you can really grow as a rider with this wheel too, and it kind of serves all of your needs.
Yeah, and right now, I believe this is about $900.
I think it's $900 or $1,000.
Yeah, it's like $900,000.
Yeah.
It's going to give you 30 miles of range on a charge. Comes with the case, and the price on this, value, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable value. You will not have more fun for $1,000 on anything that you could buy, on any toy.
Yeah.
I will tell you that confidently. There's no toy that'll give you more fun for $1,000.
I can't think of anything. Cool.
All right, V8, V10.
V10F.
Okay, V10F. This is the long-range version of the Inmotion V10.
And we think most people, if you're going to swing the money for a V10, you're going to get the F.
You're going to get the F.
It's worth it.
Now, Inmotion claims 60 miles of range. We did not fully test that range simply because it takes a long time to ride 60 miles.
Yeah, and we've been topping off the battery a little bit here and there. So.
Right, we've been doing some performance runs with it, drag racing, the three of them, et cetera, so we wanted all the batteries to be relatively full when we did that, which is why we haven't run this one all the way down. But this guy is crazy smooth.
It's so stable. I mean, like we said earlier, this is your high-speed, long-distance commuter wheel.
The touring.
Yeah, this is a grand touring wheel.
This is the grand touring wheel.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
It's your Aston Martin. It's your
the SUV.
Yeah.
$1,600. A little bit higher on the price point if you're commuting, either to or from work. Worth it all day long. Now, let's talk about my ride last night.
Yeah.
So we had spent all weekend testing all 3 of these. Last night I had a photo shoot that I actually needed to get to, and I looked at all 3 wheels, said what am I going to take to my photo shoot, and I reached for the V10F. And it was interesting because I averaged 18.6 miles an hour.
Which is the top speed of these.
Which is the top speed of both of these for the 4 miles that I had to drive to get there.
And that's a comfortable cruising speed.
That was
on
a
any
comfortable
wheel.
speed. And now keep in mind we're talking about some stoplights and things, which means I was probably riding, on those big straightaways around the lake. I was probably doing more like
Your
20,
top speed
21.
was like 22.
Yeah, and I had a 22.5 mile an hour top speed, which is the first tilt back on this. Even though it goes 25, it kind of gives you this, let's settle at 22.5.
Yeah, it's comfortable. It's
and
very
it's very
subtle.
comfortable. It's very stable. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I rocketed to that photo shoot on this totally faster than I could have driven there with my car.
Yeah.
Which is, that's the whole point of these, guys. That's the whole point of these. So I took this, which was interesting because I think for most things I'm going to do, I'm going to lean to the V8 because it's lighter, it's smaller, I can put it in the back of my car. So if I'm going to drive somewhere and I want wheels after I park, I'm going to go with the V8. If I'm starting at my house, I'm going somewhere either to the office, to a photo shoot or something like that, I'm going to take the V10.
Yep.
Tons of power, tons of range, very smooth, very comfortable. The pads hit really high up here if you're going to use them. The pedals are enormous.
Oh, they're great.
They're enormous. So you
There's
can
a ton of ride height clearance.
Pedal clearance off the ground.
We took this off-roading yesterday.
Huge off-road.
We're going to post a video on that too. It's
Yep.
fantastic. The wide tire is really comfortable. You can take some PSI out of it and get better ride quality.
Yep. The wide pedals.
The wide
Let's
pedals,
talk about that.
Yeah. And
You
the
can
wide tire.
choose a lot of different foot positions on a longer ride to give you more comfort. So on some of these, you get a little bit smaller pedal, which limits the places and directions you can put your feet. On a long ride, like you're going to do on the V10F, those huge pedals allow you to just choose a more comfortable position or just alternate positions for a longer ride.
And you have a lot of leverage on your leg
Huge
to
leverage.
adjust easily while on the move, which is
Clip
cool.
to me and the music spinning
Yeah, that's right.
in the tennis court over
Yes. Full roll that clip.
here. We kind of did some stunting with all these. We aired up the tires and did some stunting on all 3.
Yeah.
I talked about this earlier, but we also drag raced them and we did a stop test on them too, which was kind of interesting. You're going to want to see that video. We'll
Those
put the
were
link to
some
that in
interesting
here.
results. Yeah.
Very interesting results. Okay, summaries?
So, all right, so there's not a whole lot that we don't really like about these.
I have no complaints on the V8.
It's what you would expect. with
I would
the
buy this all
14D.
day.
Yeah. But we have some gripes with the V10F. There's things that we absolutely love about it, that we just discussed. The biggest gripe is just the handle. It's crap. It's just really cheap and flimsy. And,
Can you hear it squeak on the video?
yeah, you probably I mean, it's usable, and I understand why they did it. It's to add more space inside.
More space for batteries.
More space for batteries, yeah.
This isn't, the V8 has an internal handle, which means it's taking up precious battery space, which compromises range.
Quite a bit.
They couldn't do that on the V10F. They needed the battery space, so it becomes external. It's wobbly. I don't
Yeah.
love it.
And they may address that.
They may address that.
They may fix that. Once you
The
start
best
shipping
handle
out-
of the 3
Yeah, I know.
is
It's really good.
the King
It's just
Sun.
a little bit low. Like
It's a little low, but
when
it's
you-
really
When
solid.
you stand, it's a little bit low. Like I'm 5'10" and it's usable, but I have to like earn it a little bit.
Yeah, but very solid.
Yeah, very solid.
But no disconnect.
So the V10F, other riders have commented about this too. The charge port is sometimes really, really hard to open with your fingers. You have to use like a knife to kind of pry it open.
Sometimes, yeah.
But I think Preston's been like slamming it down really hard.
Just
and
for you.
Just to mess with me.
Yeah.
I haven't had a problem with it before coming to Minneapolis, so let that be an indicator.
Also, I don't like that the charge port is actually underneath.
Yeah, that's kind of funky. That doesn't
this.
really bother me, but I can see how that would be an annoyance.
Ooh, let's talk about a little thing on here that is not, well, I guess it's on the King Song, but not so much. The speaker on here is actually pretty darn good.
Speaker's awesome
The speaker's really good.
on the V10F. yeah.
Now, I didn't think, I had, the V8 has no speaker. I thought that the speaker on the V10 was just going to be a waste of,
I think you can do music on this, but
can you?
I think so. Yeah, we've never
never
really
done it,
cared
okay.
about it. So
Well, regardless, it's kind of good and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I was surprised. It was a feature I thought was going to be just a waste of space, but it's kind of neat if you want to ride with a little bit of music. It's great. People can hear you coming and they automatically move out of the way. And keep in mind, this guy's fast, so you're going to be passing everybody.
yeah,
The headlight,
it is great.
super bright,
Yep.
shoots out 20 feet, 15,
Yeah, 15, 20
15,
feet.
20 feet gives you really good
You
visibility.
can see very, very clearly about 10, 15 feet ahead of you. And I did a night video on the V10F. You can see that.
We'll
too.
put that link in here as well.
Yep.
What else in the V? Oh, let's talk about top speed for a second.
Sure.
18 and a half, 19 miles an hour for these two. 25. Okay. 17, 18 miles an hour is a really comfortable cruise speed.
Yep.
If you're on a smooth surface.
Yep.
It's a comfortable cruise speed.
You mentally feel safe at that speed.
Yes.
It's comfortable with just like the physics of things, with wind and this and that.
Yes.
It's very nice.
Yes. However,
Yep.
when I ride up to a bicyclist with their sweatback helmet
Yeah, and
and their
they're spandex.
$10,000 bike and their spandex looking all high and road mighty, path mighty, right? I can ride right up to them on the V8 or the KS14D,
And you can just kind of.
and I can stay with them, kind of right there, because typically they'll ride 17, 18 miles an hour is a comfortable.
Our cruising speeds are about the same.
Our cruising speed for a bicyclist, a fast bicyclist, is about the same on the V8 and the KS14D. Now, this is where I had a blast with the V10 over the weekend.
It's fun just.
These bicyclists will ride up to me. What is this thing? Oh, this is my electric unicycle. Nonchalant, adjust my Pac-Man tie.
Yeah.
And
Tell us about the lady.
or about the lady yesterday.
Yeah.
So I was riding next to a lady yesterday. She was on her $10,000 bike, and she said, "Well, how far and how fast does this thing go?" And I just said, "Well, further and faster than you," jokingly, of course.
Yeah.
And she got a kick out of that, and of course started pedaling quickly. And I just ever so effortlessly leaned forward and stayed with her up until her top speed of about 21, 22. She could not go faster than that, at least sustained. And then I just leaned forward to 25 and took off. That is what I've always wanted out of the V8. Like that extra 5 miles an hour is absolutely phenomenal.
You don't need it.
You don't need it.
But you need it.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
It's great to have that power in reserve. It's great to know that underneath you, you can conquer all. You can stay up with traffic in 25 mile an hour zone.
Yes, you can. You can stay up with traffic. That's right.
That's really nice. So, you can ride on like a neighborhood road and not hold people up.
I want to mention something too now that we're on this power issue or power conversation.
Yes.
There is a 2,000 watt motor in the V10F. That is enormous. And enormous to the point where Inmotion could have very easily given this a top speed of 32 to 35 miles an hour with the size of the motor that's in there. They didn't. They made the top speed 25, and I want to have this conversation as a testament to what Inmotion did in the design of the V10F.
This is really important.
This is an important conversation. Yeah. This is an enormous engine and an enormous battery detuned for rider safety. There's a cooling fan on the main board. They're designed to take a tremendous amperage.
It kicked in once up these hills.
I don't know if you can see this hill behind us. This is a steeper grade than this is rated for.
Yeah.
And we took it up and down these things like a dozen times, and we eventually got the cooling fan to kick on. It's the first time we heard it all weekend. But we were drawing 2,000 watts out of the mower going up the hill and trying to accelerate up the hill. It didn't lie. It was great. It kept taking it. It was fine. Didn't care. So what Inmotion did is, if you look at the other manufacturers that are putting 18, 19, or 2,000 watt motors in their wheels, they're giving you a top speed over 30 miles an hour. 32, 35, some of them.
But you don't need to go that fast.
You do not need to go that fast. And it introduces a lot of safety issues, which one of them is called a gray out or a brown out, depending upon who you're reading, which is where the wheel is demanding a voltage and a current out of the battery that the battery cannot give you. Whether that's from battery age, battery temperature, battery percentage voltage, if it's cold outside and the chemistry in the battery is a little bit colder. Any blip in power to that motor is going to land you flat on your face with injury. Okay, I do not want that to happen. It's never happened. I've never had that happen to me. I've only read about it with some of the other manufacturers. So what Inmotion did is they gave us this huge motor, huge battery, and they built in the redundancy to virtually eliminate that probability.
Yep.
Which I love that. I love that. That gives me a confident cruise speed of 22 miles an hour, 22, 23 miles an hour, which is fast enough. That is fast enough. If I go any faster than that,
with pavement irregularities, like you hit something and it's uncomfortable at that speed, so it's enough.
And to that point, I feel like anything over 25, I need to gear up like I'm getting on my motorcycle.
Yeah.
I want wrist, knee,
Your body's-
elbow, helmet, full helmet, because that's the kind of speed that'll really hurt you. If you hit a pothole, get kicked off. If someone cuts you off and you got to bail, something. So I think Inmotion really did a good job with this sweet spot on what its capabilities are and then how they tuned it for safety.
Now, one important thing to note, we've heard this from people who have had more experience with larger wheels than we have.
That's right.
The big motor, larger, faster wheels have a tendency to be just a little bit more sluggish off the line.
Right.
Not much. When we drag raced these were all pretty similar. The V10F was actually quicker by the end of our...
It overtook.
Yep. But off the line...
Immediately off the line, this is going to be slower.
It's slower.
Yeah.
And that's just something I wasn't expecting. I was expecting braking performance, acceleration to be superior to the V8, and initially it's a little bit less.
Right.
The V10F does have longer braking distances, which is something to consider. The King Song had the shortest. This was in between. This was a little bit longer than the King Song, but not much, and this had longer. But it's kind of what you would expect: small, lightweight, medium, and large. Same thing goes with anything. It's physics.
Same thing with stopping a big SUV.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be slower. You stop a Miata here with the King Song, and it stops in a heartbeat. That's what we're dealing with here. So I think Inmotion really did it right with not only what they build into it, the redundancy, the battery size, the massive amount of power, but also limiting our access to it for safety. I am a real fan of things that are overbuilt.
Yes.
I'm a real fan of that. In anything, in architecture, in construction, anything overbuilt is really a good thing. So if you're looking for that long commuter that you can ride at high speeds, safely, comfortably, the V10F is where it's at, for sure.
The only point where the V10F falls short is just because of its very nature, that it's big and heavy and cumbersome and doesn't have a particularly great handle, is that when let's say you're taking it to a restaurant or you're taking it to a grocery shop and you need to wheel it around, it's a little bit cumbersome.
It's cumbersome to wheel around.
It's doable, but it's cumbersome, and it's also very heavy to haul up staircases, throw in the car. This or this would be much better options.
And if I'm doing that urban, like we said, if we're doing that urban, more of that urban lifestyle with it, I'm gonna buy the V8 or the King Song.
Yep.
Because this is a little bit big, I don't need the range, I don't need that top speed in an urban environment. I would rather have quicker stopping speed, more maneuverability. If I'm in that real tight urban, if I am, downtown Chicago, New York, any of these cities, if I'm going from an apartment to work and I'm gonna be on sidewalks, I'm gonna be dealing with people, I'm gonna be dealing with dogs, bikes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the King Song.
The King
14D.
Song has the braking distance,
Braking, acceleration.
the accuracy, the pedals, the confidence that you feel weaving in and out of tight situations. This is the best for that. It's the most nimble.
Yes.
It's great for cities. This is a good in between. So
Yeah, and then bringing that up, if my urban environment is a little bit more commuting, a little bit more range, a little bit more comfort with kind of that occasional really hard maneuverability through the sidewalks, dogs, people, V8, for sure.
cool.
Now, we already said it, long range commuter, high speed, less of that jungly urban obstacle course, the V10F. Yeah?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, the more we ride that, the more we like the V10F. It's so good.
Your rider skill does need to be higher on this. This is going to take a little bit higher rider skill. If you're a new rider and you're watching this video, you will not go wrong with either of these. And I would tell you confidently that the Inmotion V8 or the King Song 14D will give you a year of riding.
And so much joy.
And right. And what I mean by a year of riding is a year of learning on these. Before you might look at going to something like the V10F. If you've already, more experience and you know what you're getting into, listen
you're looking
to
to take your wheeling to the next level.
Something like this. Also $1,600. You're paying for it. I mean, you've got $600 premium over, even $700 premium. Is it worth $700 more than? Well, let's have that conversation.
Yeah.
Is this worth $700 more than the V8?
That's gonna be another video.
That might be another video.
Yeah. Cool. But for now, our advice is buy all of them.
Yeah, get them all.
And
that's
as always,
summary.
just get all of them. You gotta collect them all, right?
Gotta collect them all. Yeah, what was Beanie Babies or something, right?
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
All right, well.
Closing comments.
I mean, just a lot of fun this week.
Yes, a lot of fun.
This was great. We had perfect weather, really good riding conditions, and had a really good opportunity to just put these through their paces. And we have integrated these wheels into our lives.
Yes.
Very well. We use them on a regular basis for commuting, for fun, for just getting out at night. Back in the day, I used to just go and drive my Miata around the block a few times and just really push it around some entrance ramps and have some fun with it. Now I take one of these out.
Yeah.
And it's a more open air, fun experience. Like these are a lot of fun, and they're hugely usable and practical in life. And I get my groceries with these now. Like it's awesome. So.
And for me, I drive the V8 every day from my house to the gym. And when I'm done with the gym, I take, right next to a beautiful lake here, I take this out, I put my headphones on, I listen to an audiobook, and I go for about an hour ride, and I go back to the house, and I only need to charge it every couple of days.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we use them a lot.
No, they're great. They really are. You've probably got 500 miles in your V8.
I'm close to 500 miles in the V8. Yeah.
So, cool guys, that's it for this one. Let me know if you have any questions or comments in the video. I think we've got a whole playlist with Inmotion, King Song videos, all these electric unicycles that we've been testing and that we've bought or that companies have sent us to test and review. So that's it.
Go buy one.
Yeah, go buy one or two or three.
They are a ton of fun.
Get one for your friends.
Yeah, tons of fun.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, guys. Thank you.